Okay. And I think we're live. I'm going to double check because I'm always nervous that we're not. Oh, that wasn't it. Okay, cool. We're live. Awesome. Guess just hang out for a sec. Ugh.
Yeah. Hi, everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone that will be coming, hopefully.
Yeah, I was going to say any watchers back. Okay. So, what are you going to be reading today?
Ooh, I'm about to start the sequel to The Book That Wouldn't Burn. This one is called The Book That Broke the World. It comes out like next week. I was very lucky to get an ARC, so
Awesome.
I'm very excited. It's kind of like I don't even know how to describe it. The genre generally is urban fantasy, and it gets weird, and there's time travel and dimension hopping, and there's lots about linguistics, and like, it's a fun one.
Okay. So, isn't the first one like set in a library or something?
Yes. A lot of the book takes place in this magical infinite library.
That sounds pretty heavenly.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
What are you reading?
I am. Oh, I meant to put the dust jacket on, but I forgot. I am probably going to be reading Tempest of Tea by 𝗖cie bych. I'm like 50 pages in, and it's finally getting into the heist bit that it mentions in the synopsis, and I'm very excited. Plus, I remembered that it's actually set in the same universe as her previous books, the Sansa-Aureliya duology, because Aureliya actually shows up on the map, and I think there's a character who might show up, and I'm so excited. I really hope it's who I think it is. But I'll probably be working on that. However, I also have Old Flames and New Fortunes, which I just bought today. And I was like, oh, I'm already in the middle of a different romance book. I shouldn't start this. But I just DNF'd that other romance book. So now I'm like, you're looking pretty good. I'll probably bounce back and forth between those, most likely.
Yeah, well, I hope the character you're hoping shows up because you seem very excited about all that.
Yeah, I am really excited. Well, I mean, We Hunt the Flame is like one of my favorite fantasy books, so I've been over the moon excited for this one, and I kept having to put it off because of video reads, and now that I'm finally into it, I'm like, let's go! So, what length of sprints do you like to do? Do you like short ones or long ones?
I think I'm good with whatever, you know? Maybe 30 minutes? What do you like?
Okay, I'm pretty flexible, but like longer I tend to prefer just because it takes me like a little bit of time to like get settled into whatever I'm reading. So 30 minutes should work for me though. Because I've watched one before where like I was watching back somebody's sprints and they did like 15-minute intervals, and I was just, how do you get anything read in that time? It's so short.
At that point, it's more like a hangout live with occasional pauses.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I suppose, you can call it reading to knock it off the to-do list. I'm sure that makes it work. Oh, there we go. All right. So do you want to just go ahead, since we're perfectly on '05, do you want to go ahead and start out with a 30-minute sprint? Perfect.
Yeah, sounds great.
Then I'm going to go finish making my dinner. Hi. I never know how loud to be whenever coming back. I don't want to terrify anybody.
It's their fault for having the volume up. I mean, I say that as someone who routinely gets terrified by the timers running out, so you know.
Yeah.
Even when I'm setting the timers myself, every time, startle.
Yeah, I realized I could do the Pomodoro kitty on the next round because I do that one a lot. I just was trying to finish up making dinner. Speaking of, oh my God, that was a very crazy 30 minutes. Like I set off the fire alarm at one point and then my cat knocked my lamp on me. It was just it was like, I'm just trying to read and make some food. So anyway, how was your reading? Good.
I'm now 7% into this book. The plot line is completely disconnected from book one, so I'm interested, but a little confused.
Okay. Funky. Are they like
what about
companions or I mean, do you even know yet?
It's supposed to be a sequel. So far, it's kind of implied it's like hundreds of years after the first book, but because the first book also included time travel, like I assume everything will connect eventually. I just gotta sit with it a little longer.
Wow, that's fair. It's interesting. I didn't realize it had like time travel. I feel like it's very much a sci-fi thing, and I thought that was like a very high fantasy book. The first one, I mean.
I mean, yes and no. It's kind of genre bending, where it's got a lot of the tropes of fantasy, but also throw in some time travel.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair. I got 10 pages read. But I did hit a reference to the previous series, so that was pretty cool. It was literally nothing. It was like you met one character from that world or that country, and it wasn't even like a returning character. It was just like his last name was like of Arau, or not last name, his title was of Arauia, so it was like okay. Hello. Everflame by Pin Cole. How are you liking it? I don't think I've ever heard of this one. I'm curious. Okay. Funky cover. This is the cover.
Oh, I've seen that before. It's romantasy, right? If I'm remembering correct.
Yes, it is. Huh. Yeah, I've never heard of this one, but I'm not very well versed in romantasy still. Hey, Laura. And Rye. And Maddie. 20 pages of Where They Lie by Joe Hart. That sounds like it's a thriller. Let's see. Also, can you hear the music I have playing?
Very faintly.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I don't get hit with copyright. Yes, this is definitely a thriller. I can tell just from the color. The cover. Words are hard. All right. Well, everybody else who's hanging out in the chat, how was your reading? How much did you guys get done? Did you do anything else fun and chaotic? I hope it wasn't as chaotic as mine was. As soon as the fire alarm went off, I was like, I really hope I muted myself.
Yeah, I saw the lamp like move, and I was like, "What is going on over there?"
Yeah, like
it's funny that it's the cat.
I didn't have the extension cord placed properly, I guess, and he had to take advantage of it by jumping up onto the side of the couch and like catching the chord perfectly. And then, of course, he just was like, what is this? And jumped down and like ran into my room. And it's like, really? You caused the chaos and you like can't even sit here and look cute in the background? I know my dog just ran off to bark at something. My animals just want to make a lot of background noise today, apparently. Starting Sister Maiden Monster. I hope you like this more than I did. I DNF'd it. Though, to be fair, this was like on my TBR, and then I knocked it off, and somebody else gave it to me for my like 12 Recs by 12 Friends. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it. And then I read it, and I was like, never mind.
So we know at least one person likes it, your friend that recommended it, right?
Mm-hmm. She and her wife did, which they usually have very different tastes. So I was like, oh, hopefully this will work out well for me. Not so much. Yeah, I'm so sorry, Maddie. Like I said, hopefully you like it more than I did. So are you working on any fun videos right now?
Ooh, I've got a planning one in the works, but I want to read some fan fiction because I've never really gotten into fan fiction. You know, I've read like little short ones here and there, but I've never like read any tomes or really gotten passionate about it. So I'm kind of planning a video around that, and I'm both excited and very nervous.
That sounds super cool. Do you know like what kind of fandom you're gonna try and read from?
I've picked out, I think I'm gonna try to do 3, and I've picked out 2. And then the third one, I think I might set it up as a vote for my patrons.
Okay. That's really cool. That's a fun idea. I'm very intrigued. I cannot wait. Oh man, I've been reading fan fiction for years, so I love whenever people get into it for the first time. It's so much fun.
Yeah. No, so far I've just read, little short snippets that I've, found here or there. And it's always just kind of like, okay. But like, I don't love short stories anyway. So like, I got to go find some novel length ones and try those out.
That's fair.
What about you? You have any projects? Sorry.
No, you're good. I think there's like a slight bit of lag. So no worries. When do I not have a project going? Well, I'm doing an anticipated like releases reading vlog, which this, I guess, spoilers to anybody who's watching. It's gonna be these 2 books, and then wrong direction, and then maybe Spy Family Volume 11. I don't know if I like really want to do a reading vlog for a manga because it's just gonna be like one update kind of thing. But so I have that one, and then I have a video coming out later this month that's like reading the lowest rated books on my Goodreads. And so I'm gonna do 3, and so far I have one that I actually really liked, and then I had one that was like I didn't hate it, but it was just so underwhelming. Like that was the go-to description for it was very underwhelming. And so I'm really intrigued to see how the last one goes, because I already have one that went positive and one that went like meh. And I'm like, are you going to be really negative, or maybe a 5-star in the rough? We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, that's exactly what makes those kind of videos so fun to watch, is that you get ones that you really love and the ones that you despise,
Yeah, that's true. Thankfully, like the one I didn't really like, it wasn't really a rant. And so I'm kind of wondering if this one will be a rant. But yeah, so that's like 2 that are nearly done, or I say nearly done. I'm like 50 pages into one book and I haven't started the second on this one, and that's in like 2 weeks. I'm a great procrastinator. Oh.
That
I
sounds like a book.
I was not prepared. Railed by the Easter Bunny. Okay. That sounds like a fun book, I guess. I don't know. Anytime I hear those kind of holiday ones, I'm always like, are you supposed to take it serious, or like slightly serious at the very least? Because I couldn't. I could never. Oh man. I too love Spy Family. I just saw today that they have a movie coming out, which is supposed to be like the vacation arc, but already from the movie it looks like they added stuff, and I'm very excited. It looks really cute, and it's just I'm there for vibes. Like plot's kind of fun, but vibes, family and cuteness, and like the spy becoming a really good dad and the assassin being adorable. It looks like a great time.
Is the movie supposed to be like a pair to the TV show, or is it separate?
That is a good question. I assume like a pair, but as I've very recently gotten more into anime and have learned that apparently some movies for the TV shows actually do pair up and like are considered like taking place in the same universe and canon. And then sometimes there are ones where there are movies and it's like the movie kind of furthers the plot, but it's never mentioned again. And I don't really know which one this one will fall into. I'm hoping more like canon, but I'm honestly not sure. Yeah, that was a weird thing to learn recently. Because it's like, what's the point of the movie then if it doesn't continue? I guess it's still like you get more of the characters. I don't know. Not even a little bit serious. Okay, I'm very glad to hear that because, like I said, I don't think I could. Oh man. So have you done any foray into manga or anime yet?
Yeah, I've seen a few anime, and I've read a few manga. I've never really gotten into. I have actually read the first few volumes of Spy Family, and then I got to the end of the ones that my library had, and then kind of wasn't invested enough to go pursue them otherwise. Yeah,
that's fair. It can be a very expensive hobby. Like when I first started doing the Soul Eater ones, because it's 25 volumes and this is the series. And initially I bought the first few from Barnes and Noble, and then I was like, you know what? This has been out for 15 years. I should be able to find these for a lot cheaper somewhere. And then I found, I don't know, it was like volume 6 on Amazon for like $2 being resold through a Goodwill. Yeah. Okay. So we want to do about another 30 minutes. You want to do any longer?
Yeah, I'm good with whatever.
Okay. Just stick with 30 minutes. I don't actually remember to do the kitty this time, so it's a fun background at least. I just have to remember how to share my screen because I always forget. Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay. See everybody in 30 minutes. Like that
Hello.
scares me.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, there we go. So how was your reading?
Good. Everything's starting to come together in the novel, and I'm enjoying it.
Okay, cool. So was mine. We got a new person introduced, and I think one of the first like romancy bits might have just been kind of teed up, and so I'm very intrigued because now we're up to like 3 points of view, and I don't know who the arguably most main character. I don't know if she's gonna have a love interest or not. So I'm intrigued to see where things go there. Oh, and I'm already having to break into new tabs. Not that I've tabbed a lot. I'm just like piecing together old ones and then having to open new ones for this. Because I tried to sort of match the cover, but not really.
Yeah, that was my question. Just if you were trying to go for a certain color scheme.
Yeah, I do with books that aren't romances. Romance, I have like a set system with every single book. But then like other ones I try, and if I can make it match the cover, but this one was kind of hard because the 3 colors I have are like these very like dark ones, and then I have these very pastel-y ones, and then I have like highlighter bright ones, but I use the highlighters for romance books. So I had to like awkwardly piece together some. So they're like kind of dark and kind of light, but none of them quite perfectly match the colors on the cover, but they're sort of similar. Yeah,
I have to look up the cover. What's your book called?
Tempest of Tea. I was gonna say here. Wait a sec. I can. Oh, my foot's asleep. I can grab the cover.
Yeah, I've never really gotten into tabbing, mostly because most of my books are ebooks. So, I do little notes on the ebook. Oh, this cover is beautiful.
It is really pretty. Yeah, so like
if I can display it well.
Yeah, I can they kind of sort of match, but like not really. I wish I had brighter colors and then they would work a lot better. But yeah, I used to not really care about my tabbing system, and then now it's like very satisfying to me if I can make it match as like perfectly as possible. And then, like I said, except for romance books, I have like set things every single time where it's like this is cute, like pink is cute, orange is red flags, yellow's funny, blue's romantic. So that one is just the same. And then luckily a lot of those colors you can use for like highlighters in ebooks. So it makes it really easy to transfer them if I ever need to.
That's cool. I hadn't really thought of that aspect of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was doing like highlighting on an ebook I was reading. And then I was planning to eventually buy the physical book so I could transfer them over, but I was talking about the book to my friend who recommended it, and she was like, "Oh, no, those books are out of print. You can't buy them physically." And I was just, oh no. So sad. Well, I'll just have to keep my annotations at the library, apparently. Okay. That was a bigger bite than anticipated.
Grilled cheese and tomato soup sounds so good. It's just like the best meal,
Agreed. It's like an ultimate comfort meal. Also, how are you liking Icebreaker, Kirsten? I'm really intrigued to see what your thoughts on that will be, because I've heard things. That's like
I've also heard many things.
Yeah. I don't think it was that one. It was the second book, the Wildfire, I think is what it's called. I was at Barnes and Noble, I guess 2 weekends ago, and there's this girl. I'm very, very bad at guessing ages, but I would have estimated she was like 14. Yeah, 14. And she was buying Wildfire, and she was like showing it to her mom, and I was sitting there being like, does this mom know what this book is about? Should I say something here? But then I thought better of it. She could just have one of those faces. Maybe she is 18 and just like looks young. Whatevs, that's fine. But I was just like, I had a solid moment of like, if you don't care, cool. Just do you know? Because I wonder that with Colleen Hoover books a lot, where like middle schoolers are reading those, and it's very much like, do these parents know what this is?
No. Sometimes I wish that there was like an easy like rating system for spice levels that was standardized, just so you can know what you're getting yourself into with a book. Then the people that want it can go find it, and the people who don't want it, or the people who maybe, are too young and impressionable to be reading explicit scenes, then, there can be a guidance system,
Yeah.
The best I found for it is a website called romance.io, where there's like user submitted spice levels, and they've got a system, and like that's kind of reliable, and it's been there for most books that I've looked up. But
I've never heard of this. Ooh, okay. Good to know. Ooh, I'm gonna check that out. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm in a
now I want to look up like what Wildfire has,
Oh, okay, wait, that's a good question.
Or Icebreaker.
If I could type. Oh, I thought this would be a lot higher when I typed in Wildfire. It was not. Four out of 5.
Like both Icebreaker and Wildfire 4 out of 5, which is on their rating system, meaning explicit open door. I like the way that they have the steps. Like, not everyone agrees with what steps should be what out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
But they've got like 1 is like nothing, 2 is like closed door, like it implies but nothing happens on page, and 3 is like there's a spicy scene but it's pretty mild, and then 4 is okay, there's a spicy scene, and then 5 is like, okay, this is very, very erotic.
Yeah, I also love this person's review. This book is basically 2 people with daddy issues trauma bonding at summer camp. Like, that's a great review. But yeah, as far as the like everybody's rating is different on that. I'm in a romance-based book club, and there's this one girl in there who 9 times out of 10, I say this, I've gone twice. But other people have mentioned that a lot of the time she tends to read like YA romances, and occasionally she'll have like a closed door one, which fine, whatevs. I mean, everybody takes down the recommendations. I mean, as long as she liked it. But then there's this other woman in the group, 𝗖cie, who cracks me up because she's always like, if it doesn't have 5 spicy scenes, it's not spicy. And I'm like, okay. Well, if whenever that one girl goes to recommend her books, 𝗖cie will be like, does it have the smut? And if she says no, she's like, damn it, and like crosses it off the list. And it kills me every time. Like, everybody's like very lighthearted about it, but it kills me every time. It's so funny.
Yeah.
10%. So far, so good. I DNF'd when she got out of the hospital, so I don't remember what percentage that was, but just in case you're wondering, Maddie. Hopefully, if you get past that, you've surpassed where I was. And like I said, hopefully you like it more than I did. Oh, excuse me. Well, okay. Any other fun things you want to promote?
That's about it for now. Just everyone get on there, rate more romance books on the spice level scale. No, it's definitely so interesting because people who never read spicy books, their calibration of scale is very different from people who always read spicy books. You gotta kind of meet in the middle to have something we can all use.
Yeah, that's true. Or like Bex reads. She has one where she'll do like spice, and then she'll do like, I think it's like spice, and then she has like chemistry. So then it's like how hot it feels with the chemistry. And I was like, that's actually really clever. I really like that. On top of like a star rating. It's pretty smart. Especially with romance books. Excuse me. Haven't gotten that far yet, but I think it's coming. Okay, well, fingers crossed for you. Oh, excuse me. It's an awesome source. There you go.
Yeah, I'll put a link to it.
Yeah, and like I know Storygraph tends to be pretty good about like marking mild, moderate, and like explicit for sexual content also as like a backup chill if she happens to want to read one that's not on there, or like I don't know, I guess I didn't look up if it had like YA books. Curious.
Yeah, I've never looked up a book and not found it there. So I think it's pretty used widely enough, but it depends on how indie books you read, I bet.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like the one that came to mind for me was A Far Wilder Magic, because I know that had like a kind of smut scene, but it's like very unexplicit, and like that one came up, and yeah, it's a three chili peppers, whatever their term is.
Yeah.
Because you've read that, right? A Far Wilder Magic?
I have, yeah. And that's about where I would put it. Like, there is a spicy scene, but relatively it's pretty tame.
Yeah, it's like
kind of depends on who you are.
Inexplicit. But... Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Honestly, my brain for that was going, because tying back earlier, I asked you about anime. Have you tried watching any Full Metal Alchemist or reading any Full Metal Alchemist?
I've seen about 2/3 of the anime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you
just
watch
like sporadic episodes?
Or I think it's like just regular Full Metal Alchemist, or then there's like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
I don't know. It was just kind of like my brother was watching it, and then I like joined in a lot of the episodes. But yeah, I've heard that there's a very similar shift between those books.
Yeah, that's like why I was wondering, because I remember Hannah at A Clockwork Reader, she like described that as Roy and Risa fan fiction from Full Metal, and I was like, sold. But then I know somebody else recently, Mary at Books with Tio Fukado, she recently read it and didn't know that going in. And I remember in her review video, she was saying how like all I can think is Full Metal Alchemist. But because she didn't like know that comparison going in, it like detracted from her enjoyment. For me, where I was more like, yes, connecting all the dots to Full Metal. It's just my fan fiction brain continuing to enjoy. Okay. Down for another 30?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, cool. Oh, wrong button. Every time. Startles me every time. I think it makes it worse because Sam's been like very talkative lately, so I'm like always startled by his meows. So how was your reading? Oh no, I think your microphone went out. We passed the 2-hour mark, so that might have been it. No, I can't hear you. Well, while Chloe's working on
my computer mic, probably worse quality, but is it working?
Yep, it's working.
That's good to know. Something in my microphone. 2-hour limit.
Apparently, which is interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
So anyway, how was your reading?
It's going well. Got like another 5% in, and everything's coming together in the book, starting to get the plot again, which is very exciting.
Okay. Fun.
What about yours?
I hit chapter 10 and I'm digging it. I think there's kind of an enemies to lovers thing happening between the criminal and this guy who's like a member of the guard. And so I'm like, because he's like flirting with her, but he's also like flirting with her to annoy her. And it's just like, is that all this is? Because curious. And I was expecting
better not.
Say that again.
It better not be all that is.
Yeah.
Bit of a premise.
Yeah, I'm hoping so, especially because like the main character, or the main characters in the first or her first book was enemies to lovers. So I'm like, please, 𝗖cie, please give it to me again. And he also called her 𝗖mě, which is like my love in Arabic, and I'm like she's expecting it to be an insult, and I'm like, it's not. That's actually really cute. I'm curious. And then the other side, it's kind of funny. The girl in the other couple is very like prim and proper and all high society, whereas she has a crush on the criminal. Wow, I'm having a time with words tonight, apparently. And she's like, the leather of his gloves was warm in the satin of hers. She could scarcely breathe. And I was like, oh my, scandalous. Anybody else in the comments? How was everybody else's reading? Maddie, if you're still here, are you continuing to like Sister Made a Monster? Because I'm so intrigued. I hope you are. I hope you don't hate it like I do. Have you had any DNFs lately?
Me? Oh, always. I think the most recent one is called 𝗖cie vices and a vodka. It was like book 6 in a series where I liked every book a little less until I got there and I was just like, nope.
Can't do it anymore.
No. It was just like the structure of the series was our protagonist and narrator was always on the fringes of the important events that were happening with her friends. And it just got very annoying after a while.
Yeah, that seems kind of weird. Like, I could see that like once or twice, but like to have it consistently, it's kind of strange.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I unfortunately DNF'd a romance book this morning, or I guess this afternoon, which I'm very bummed about because I've loved this author's previous series that I read, but this was like the original, and then I read the spinoff one. And so I started with the first one. And at first I was like, oh yeah, this is really funny. And the female main character is like filled with all these fun facts. And I was like, oh, I'll love this. And then I went to buy a copy on Pango, and then I got a little bit further in, and it was like, oh, I don't really like the male character. Oh no. Okay. I'll keep trying. And then like I went from like not really liking him to kind of ambivalent, and then like back down to not liking him, and I was like, I probably don't want a physical copy of this. So I requested like to cancel my order on Pango. And then I was like, I'll keep it from the library. It's fine. And so I kept listening to the audio, and then it hit a point where it was like, oh, this is like getting into a weird power dynamic. I don't like this anymore. And officially DNF'd it. And looking back, just like reading the title, it was called like Neanderthal Seeks Human. I'm like, I should have known. Well, yeah. Hey, Lisa. It's okay. Hopefully, you might get some reading done. Actually, I might be out in a bit, actually, because my computer is apparently dying. Well, we'll see. Do you want to try for like a 20-minute sprint? A last 20-minute sprint?
Sure.
I was gonna say do that to like
Yeah.
end up the night, because I think my computer will handle that, and then after that it'll probably, because otherwise I have to like dig my charger out from behind my desk, and that's not fun. I'm just lazy.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, that sounds great.
Okay,
Just wrap
coolio.
it up. If you,
Yeah,
you drop
sure.
out, we'll just end the stream.
Yeah, basically. If I just disappear, you know what happened. Oh, okay, 20 minutes. Hello, you're just in time for our last sprint. We're gonna do 20 minutes. Okay. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Hello. Hello. Okay. How do I? There we go. All right. So, how far in have you hit throughout all of your reading? Like, all right, how do I let your phrase? How far did you get?
I am at 20%. I was at 0 when we started, so
Hey, there you go.
making my way.
Decent amount. I think I'm probably at about 70 pages. Like for the night. I mean, I realized that didn't quite make sense at first. Since I just said I was almost at 100 pages. Alrighty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for joining me. Do you have anything you want to like promote for your channel upcoming?
Probably just the channel in general. I'm 𝗖cie RH𝘁𝘁 on YouTube. Have book reviews and fun content.
It's true, she does. She is also linked in the description. If she is not, I will go fix that in a second. I'm pretty sure you are.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was fun.
Yeah, it was. Thank you so much for joining. I keep saying I'm going to get better about doing sprints, but I keep not. So hopefully, maybe I'll do this again in not 2 months, like in a little shorter amount of time. And hopefully you can join me again.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much to everybody else in the chat, seeing as how my computer is definitely going to die any minute. Hope you guys got a lot of reading done. I have my March wrap-up coming out on Friday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And have a good night or day or whatever time it is for you.